It's time to start a little piddling on one of my bigger vehicles around here. It hasn't been on the channel yet. Me and my dad built it back when I was in high school. It's what really got me into the wrenching thing. So let's let you see it. 1973 Camino on a, what year was that? It was an 87, I believe, GMC Jimmy chassis, 4-speed granny gear, functioning full drive, everything. I mean, this truck is done legit. It's a beast. It's no pro built thing or anything. Me and Dad built it in the garage, but it's beautiful. It functions beautiful. It's got a couple things that we gotta upgrade and fix, a little neatening up. You'll see that in this video. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I've drove this truck down to Myrtle Beach a couple times. Made it to Drop Jaw magazine one of the years, so it's got a pretty good history. This truck's been with us a while, so let's get it out and get it on the channel and let y'all see it a little bit. Here we go. There she is. Inside's done up pretty nice like the outside. You can probably hear in the video what we got to do some work on. Muffler bearings are raising hell. You can see how long it's been sitting. I haven't touched this thing, and I can crank it up every now and again, but it hasn't been drove in a couple years. Several years, actually. But it fired right up after a good battery charge. Do some neatening up on the wiring. Some fixing on the steering knuckle because the steering's got sloppy. I got wheel cylinders to fix, front brake calipers to fix. So there'll be a little bit of stuff, nothing too exciting. I'll get to some beating on it videos after I do a little couple repairs or whatnot. End goal would be really nice to put a LS in this thing, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. But that's her. This may put in perspective how old this thing is or how long it's been built. This is what it came from. This is a photo album right here. That's my goofy self in high school. There's the, I think it's actually a 79, something other. It was an old Jimmy K5 body style. But as you can see, the car was rotten. Me and my buddy Bryant sat in it and fell through the floor. So Dad made up this jig, and me and him actually handmade a whole floor pan for this car because they didn't make replacement panels of any type at the time. We got lucky and found the rear quarters off of a Monte Carlo website, and I actually had to drive 2 hours to pick it up. It wasn't back then when you could just get stuff shipped or whatnot relatively easy. So we did it. Concrete floor. What are you barking at, boy? See, he hadn't even seen this thing move. That's how surprised he is. So this is one of those you call a frame off. I mean, and legit, we chopped and added what was it, 12 inches on the money to the frame to make the wheel wells. There's my little cousin. Make the wheel wells line up so the wheels are centered up really nice in the wells, unlike a lot of stuff you see. Just put it like a S10 on a Blazer frame, stuff like that. There's how in depth we got on the jigs. So right here you can see we made all new. I mean, there was no bolt on to this thing. We had to make our own body mounts and purges, so it was a full deal. I mean, but so you can see right here, this whole floor pan, we made it in the shop with a sheet metal brake, welded it in, seam sealed it, had to make a rear trunk pan just like that. So truck, it was not solid at all. I mean, the running gear was way more solid in the truck. You can see right there where we got the skin cut off of it, and then it's molded back in. This is my first. I painted dirt track cars and stuff like that with my dad, and that's how he taught me how to paint and do body work, stuff like that. And a couple horse trailers here and there. This was my first big project with my dad, and this is what got me into the hobby of motorsports, honing, stuff like that. Dad beats on this truck. I'm scared to beat on this thing. I mean, you can see obviously it's a expensive build. I'll drive it and stuff like that, but when he gets in it, he beats crap out of it. Made our own custom skid plate right there. You can see right here on the bumper, he even made some bumper frame horns. good looking units. I think it fills it out. So let's flip through a couple more pictures and end up the rambling portion. See right there, get it jammed out. This is I painted this truck way back. Best part of it, the paint job went great, and we got on the stripe on the hood, and a moth landed right in it when I was clear coating. Bastard. So he got clear coated into it. There you are. That's me painting. Standing the bed over. Little scrawny seal. But yeah. Father and son project. Turned out beautifully. You can imagine I was the shit in high school driving this thing, but it actually got vandalized in high school, so I quit driving it. It's kind of bad you can't have nice things, but there she is, and we're gonna bring her back in full force. Old 1973 puddle jumper. All right, we got the old girl in the shop. Show you some of the fuckery that I'm gonna address too. I've actually already ADD'd out and started pulling some of the wires out of the way. Ah!
After he gets his ladder over.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my ladder over here to work on this thing. But
Working on this thing.
yeah, it's hard to work on this thing especially when you're a little filler. But a handful of wires that was just zip tied up over here. You can see pretty much all the wires were not loomed. It's kind of just a temporary mock-up that just got sent full term. You know how that goes. So I'm gonna neaten all this up, buy a couple relay blocks and ground blocks, and kind of neaten it up. Yeah, so that's what's gonna happen. A tune-up, spark plugs. I think the wires will surpass. Definitely some fresh fuel. I threw some 110 on top of the dead gas. But that's what's going on right now. Just neatening up wires, tune up, and right here is the biggest culprit. See how wore out that daggum. Oh yeah, the steering joint.
Oh gee.
Yeah, the rag joint's kilt. Okay, here's the steering issue. That brass bushing right there is wore out. It used to work really good. It held it in that shaft. Yeah, but it just wore out over time. So you can see how much, it's a ton of slack. How much slack is it?
Yeah.
A ton of it. So we're gonna try to put this ragless WS6 steering knuckle in there and get rid of a little bit of that slop. All right, make a new steering shaft. Here's the old mess. I'm gonna take a couple pieces and use this and make the new one. All right, that's tacked in there, and it's good enough to probably crank the truck up after it cools down and turn the steering wheel, see how it holds, but it's got way too much swing. I'm gonna have to figure something else out about this. That sector shaft was helping it. It's wore out down here terribly. So probably gonna be back to the drawing board on this. Fail. All right, damn, I'm I'm struck. Goodness. Okay, so this failed. This has got needs a little bit of the ED medication, steering column going on here, whatnot. So back to the drawing board. Went and took apart a Jeep down in the field, 99 model Cherokee, and got this center shaft out of it after I cut this little feller off and this aluminum knuckle off. Couldn't do nothing with it. So this right here is going to be the what actually holds the support. Here, do me a favor and hold this camera. I need a head mount or something. So this fella right here is gonna, of course,
Go in the other side.
it's gonna slide up onto there, and that's gonna be the actual support carrier system for the steering, to where it just won't flop everywhere, so we'll see how this one works out. We also took out that crappy rag joint and just replaced it with a universal. Another one of these universals off of Cody's Camino, so now he can't steer. Good to go. We'll be back with some more. You can see the other universal we got on that shaft instead of that rag joint right there too. Here's a little more. The idea, got that cut and slid into there. This is going to be mounted to the frame like that and that. Okay, we're tacked up, nowhere near solid yet, just tacked. See how we are on everything as far as clearance. I think everything's good up here minus the little bolt hitting the oil dipstick. I think I can bend the dipstick just a tick and get a shorter bolt, no big deal. Let's mock up, crank her up and turn her around, see what happens. I like to let the camera do the watching for me. So I'm glad I videoed that the way I did. That all looked really good, and inside the cab it steered really good. There wasn't a lot of slop and stuff. I'm still going to, I've pinched it down to where this round tube is actually got the flat spots on both sides like that one, but that's not all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drill a hole through everything and pin it together. That way it's just a little bit of just in case and it's still detachable. But that's gonna be it. I'm gonna booger it up. Alright, that's gonna be all I'm gonna do to that. It's boogied up real nice. There's the finished product. This thing's tight as a tiger. I drilled and pinned that in. Bolt's still loose. Gotta get a shorter bolt because the shank actually isn't threaded all the way. But that is finished product. Shoot a little spray paint on there, and she's good as gold. That's as good as it's ever been, and it should be good from now on in. Just twisted the dipstick up out of the way and ready to go. So I'm gonna go on to neaten up my wires. Not gonna be in this video. Little tune up, work on the brakes a little bit. That master cylinder's gonna get changed out. The front brake calipers, rear wheel cylinders, and then we're gonna go rip this thing in the next video. So there's that. And little Cody got some more goodies for the 6.0 LS Camaro. So there's some more video content coming on it. He's got it legal and driving around and everything, so that's sick. He's definitely stoked. We're all stoked around here because he built that thing pretty quick, and it turned out good. Time to get it painted, and it's gonna look as good as it runs. And he's looking for nitrous kits and stuff. I'm pretty sure he's gonna save his pennies for that. And more good news, the 1980 Fairmont is getting an LS swapped. Aaron started gathering goodies for that. He's got a motor. Already picked up some bearings for the motor, and got a LS swapped K-member for it, tubular K-member. So there's gonna be some action on that. So come on back, see the big old yellow banana some more, and all the other shenanigans.